There are some really easy and cheap tricks you can play on these AI detectors to completely fool them. For example, here's a text chapter that I just wrote with ChatGPT. By copy-pasting this as is into an AI detector, it gives me a 7% human written score. Not good. But now let's add one single emoji into the mix. Now the AI detector score improved by almost 60%. That's impressive, but it's definitely not 100%. And that's exactly what we're after today. Today I will show you a 100% foolproof strategy you can use to build successful blogs and write successful blog posts without ever having to worry about Google's AI detector ever again. Let's jump into it. During the past couple of months, I have seen an alarming number of legitimate guides that tell you how to use AI detectors, or rather how to pass those AI detectors before publishing blog posts to the internet. The idea is simple. Use AI detector to make sure that your content doesn't look like it's produced by AI to trick Google's algorithm to rank high on search results. But come on, Google is years ahead of us in this game. If a random online AI detector gives you a 100% human written score, that doesn't mean anything. If Google used similar strategies to try to spot AI in writing, they would use their own tools that would be way more sophisticated than those online AI detectors. Basically, it would work entirely differently and would be much more robust than any one of these free detectors you find online. But to be honest, I bet that they don't even implement such technologies in their system. All Google cares about is that a piece of content is unique, original, and always adds something new to the internet. It doesn't really matter how you get there, as long as the post is useful and a truly unique piece of content that solves a problem in a better way than anyone else has ever done. And basically, ChatGPT or other AI writing tools won't get even close to this kind of content quality. Now let's consider the main issue with ChatGPT and all other AI writing tools. Basically, ChatGPT cannot really write blog posts that would actually rank high on search results. It always requires human input. If you think about it, writing a blog post is just the tip of the iceberg of putting together the post. For instance, if I were to write a blog post about how to start a successful blog, it would probably take a couple of hours, but it took 2.5 years of full-time work to actually gain the knowledge and confidence to share it. Or as another example, if I were to review a pair of shoes, I would first need to get those shoes, test them extensively, analyze the test results, take some images, and take some notes, and only then would I be able to sum it up by writing a blog post. So once again, the blog post writing part is the easy part of putting together the post. That being said, let's consider the expectations versus reality when writing blog posts with ChatGPT or other AI tools. This is what a typical AI writing guide tells you about using ChatGPT and AI detectors. Use ChatGPT to write a blog post draft in seconds. To fool the AI detector, rephrase the content with a tool like Quillbot. Do this until you get 100% human written score. Publish the blog post and rank high. But this is so wrong. If it was this easy, everybody would be doing it this way. In reality, there are really no shortcuts to success. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Now, here's the reality of writing blog posts with ChatGPT and fooling AI detectors. So first and foremost, a successful blog post always needs to add something new to the table. Using ChatGPT, you're basically just repeating what's already been told millions and millions of times on the internet. And ChatGPT cannot really think or know. It can only produce text that reflects the patterns of its training data. Now here's a more realistic AI content workflow. First, be the best. Adapt this mindset before you write anything. Make sure your blog post will be informative, detailed, unique and original, and that it solves the problem in a better way than anyone else has ever done on the internet. The next tip, choose the topic. Use Google suggestions. Type in something related to your niche and see what Google suggests. These are great blog post topic candidates because people are actually searching for these on the internet. Next, Check the competitors. Learn from those who are already successful. Check out the top ranking pages and see what they have done to get there. Make sure you write a better piece of content than any one of these. Next, do the research. Research papers, read blog posts, news articles, watch videos, and try to gather the information from different sources. Of course, if you happen to be an expert or possess a ton of knowledge about the topic, that's even better. At this point, you can use ChatGPT to retrieve some basic information, but you need to make sure that it's factually correct, because ChatGPT makes mistakes in a convincing tone of voice. Next, it's time to chat with ChatGPT. Turn your knowledge and notes into blog post sections by chatting with ChatGPT. Tell it absolutely everything you want to include. You need to pour your thoughts, information, knowledge, and expertise into the mix. My messages to ChatGPT are usually longer than the blog post ends up being. Next, structure your blog post. Take the ChatGPT generated outputs and paste them into your blog post editor. Add headings, subheadings, bulleted lists, tables, numbered lists, and whatnot to make the blog post skimmable for those that are in a hurry. Also, that makes the blog post look more professional and nice to read. Next, make every single word count. If a sentence or word doesn't contribute to delivering your message, leave it out. ChatGPT tends to add a ton of jargon into the mix, so make sure to cut all of that away. Next, make sure to add useful images to the blog post. Take those images yourself. Do not use those stock images unless absolutely necessary. The more unique and original images to use, the better. Next, link to useful resources. So before publishing the blog post, make sure to back up your facts with links to the original resources. Also, make sure to include some links to your own blog posts wherever necessary, so that the visitors will stay on your page for a longer time. Now, this is a more realistic way to use ChatGPT to write a blog post. As you can see, it's more of an assistant and acts as an extra layer rather than a shortcut to success. So as a matter of fact, when I do this, it actually takes a bit longer to write those blog posts when I'm using ChatGPT than when I'm not. But now the question is, how do you actually fool those AI detectors? I bet you already see where we're going with this. I think using AI detectors is inherently wrong. Not because it would be unethical or cheating the system, but simply because it won't work. A blog post that ranks high needs much more than just text. It doesn't really matter if you use AI to generate the text or not. That's the smallest of issues. Biggest problem is you actually need to make sure that the blog post provides useful value to your readers and actually makes the internet a better place by providing something new to the web. And don't get me wrong here, I sometimes use ChatGPT in my blogging business. For example, I commonly use ChatGPT to turn my blog posts or video scripts into the video description. And I even write blog posts with ChatGPT, but the way I use it is that I send those 500 or 1000 word messages to ChatGPT and ask it to put it in its own words and rephrase some parts of it to make it more digestible and easy to understand. So for me, ChatGPT is definitely just an extra layer, and it actually takes a bit more time for me to write the blog post when I'm using ChatGPT than when I'm not using it. For me, ChatGPT has helped writing those hard to understand sentences in an easier fashion. So for example, if I try to say something really complicated, I might just ask ChatGPT to rephrase it to make sure that even a 5-year-old can understand it. Nonetheless, by using these strategies, I will never have to worry about AI detectors in my life. This is because it doesn't really matter how I get there, as long as the blog post provides value, is unique and original piece of content that truly helps people in my niche. This is what truly makes a difference. At this point, I would like to invite you to check my free blogging masterclass. I've left a link to it in the description. In this masterclass, I teach you everything you need to know to start a successful blog in a clean and organic fashion this year. And that's a wrap for today. Please, let's stop this AI detector silliness. Instead, let's write content that actually makes the internet a better place and truly helps our audiences. Let's not try to use tricks or growth hacks as a shortcut to success, because they won't work anymore. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.